One.
Grand Rising, everyone.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Grand Rising, everyone, and welcome. You are tuned in to a special live edition of the Good Morning from Africa Town, Los Angeles morning radio show, the only B1 or none morning radio show. So today you are here with the ATLA crew. We have an awesome conversation today. Um, I don't even know if I want to call it awesome because it's a serious conversation when it comes to what's going on in the Black community, of course. So we have here with us, straight no chaser with the Queen, Tina Berry in the house. We've got Queen Kathy V in the house. We've got Queen Lynn, aka Black Love 17. We've got D Mays with Mind Games Uncut. And I am here with you, Angelina. And we're going to have this discussion. We're going to dive into what's going on. Um, we're going to talk about Chicago, but not just Chicago, all over the United States. When it comes to the money, not even just the United States, all over the world, when it comes to the United States disproportionately dishing out money to everyone but the Black community. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Warning, the following program contains strong Black first opinions about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissy.
Grand Rising all, you are listening to the one and only B1 or none. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
All right. Go ahead, Queen.
What
Take
it do?
it.
What it do?
No, go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the same thing. We're back and we're going to dive into the conversation, right? So, again, we're talking about the money that's being dished out, not only money, resources. What do you mean by resources? We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about educational resources. We're talking about government assistance, all kinds of things that are being implemented to ensure that immigrants come over here to the United States safe and secure. And there is nothing wrong with anyone wanting to find safety and safe haven. Um, that the bigger issue is what's going on against the Black community, right? And it's done by our government. Let's just keep it real. So for me personally, my big gripe is not with immigrants. My big gripe is the propaganda that the government's laying out behind allowing this to occur. And like Queen Tina said before the conversation, it is a definite slap in the face to the Black community. Okay, so let's dive into the conversation and let's see if we can come with some active solutions by the end of this. So you all be thinking about what's going on, how this is impacting you and your household, your neighborhoods, your communities, and how we can move forward as a Black community. So let's talk about it.
Yes. Well, let's talk about should I share the screen? Let me share this and let's hear this news report about hold on.
It's about to go down, y'all.
It's about to go down. Y'all know I am ready
before
to curse.
And before we get started, before we get started, a lot of Black people don't know what's going on in Chicago, and we about to,
Oh, they're Black people are suing them.
Yeah. I'm talking about the people around the country.
Yeah.
Like, the people in Chicago know what's going on, but
that's because it's happening in other states. It's happening predominantly. Notice that white people ain't complaining because they're shipping them to predominantly Black areas to finish the gentrification, to finish wiping us out.
Yeah, I think most Black people know what's going on. It's just because of the practices that we have internally. We haven't acknowledged what's going on, and we tend to stay out of the loop of information, so we haven't connected the dots that what's going on here is going on in every Black community virtually across the country simultaneously.
Yep. Let me play this
Facts.
real quick. Can y'all see the screen?
Not yet. What's going on,
No.
Brooklyn Tradition? What's up, brother?
It says it's sharing.
I see it. We
Oh,
see
there it
it. Yeah.
goes. There it
Okay.
goes.
Hold on. We're finna play it.
I spoke to Christina Passioni Zayas, the city's first deputy chief of staff. She gave me insight on how the crisis is impacting the city and state financially.
We have more people coming in than we actually have transitioning out of shelters.
Already this week, 41 buses have rolled into Chicago. That means there are now 11,000 migrants living in shelters. 4,000 are still sleeping on police station floors and staying at the airports. There have been calls by city officials to close the Inn of Chicago shelter site after reports of criminal behavior, including drug sales and prostitution. Passioni Zayas says it's not shutting down.
We are in a lease. That's the other thing.
This chart shows the number of migrant children now enrolled within the Chicago public schools. 30% of migrants here in Chicago are children. The migrant crisis is straining resources. The state is footing the bill for what they call temporary housing. The state is paying on the high end $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period of time. With that comes help moving in and a starter kit to furnish the apartment.
That rent lasts for 6 months, and ideally people would have started their legal process, secured legal work authorization, and then be able to sustain that apartment.
The city put $4 million towards helping migrants get temporary housing. Right now, there are just a handful of case managers to handle the load to get migrants in temporary rentals.
They have roughly, I want to say in the ballpark of 30 to 40. But we obviously, need to get more. And so that's when we approached the state again for an additional $5 million.
We did reach out to see how many asylum seekers are currently taking advantage of the rental assistance. We haven't heard back from the city on that. Tia Ewing, Fox 32, Chicago.
Can I point something out really quickly? I just want you all to understand that when they say that the state is forking the bill, I just want you to think whose money that is. That would be our money. I
That's
just
coming out
want
of
you
your
all to
wallet.
understand that are listening. That is our money that is
Your wallet
supporting
is
this. I'm gonna land with that. Go ahead, King Pablo. Pablo is in the house. Pablo X is in the house. What were you guys say, King?
Pablo.
I think I want us to
Hold on one
look.
second. Broken Traditions or whoever want to get, I'm dropping the link if you want to come up and say something about this. Anybody that want to speak, go ahead. Go ahead, Pablo.
I think what I want us to do is address the elephant in the room as B1 or none folk, Black folk, melanated, whatever you go by. I think it's time to address the elephant in the room. What we see going on in that video clip, and it's no coincidence that the woman speaking on it was a Black woman. What you see going on in that clip is the end phase of a military offensive against Black people, the Black community in America. In other words, we've told you show after show after show, white supremacy doesn't just show up and just happen to do things. They plan things out. Their strategies, their military strategies go by 20-year increments, 20 years in advance. So 20 years ago, this process was mapped out and we're seeing the tail end of it. And as usual, we always react too little too late to the tail end of it. We told you back around the time when Barack Obama was first elected that the shift was happening then. They were beginning then to replace, and this is the left branch of white supremacy. And we're not letting the repellents off the hook, but this is the left branch of white supremacy. They began back then when Barack Obama was elected the first time, they began to do that shift to where they were phasing us out as the base, the dependent base of the Democrat Party. So in other words, they were already important, their Spanish speaking base. And we already knew, we've known since the Clinton administration that things were going on when Black immigrants try to come over, whether it's a civil war. I mean, God himself can be destroying a Black country and they won't let them over. We saw Bill Clinton turn Haitian Haitian migrants around in the middle of the ocean to go back to a civil war to die. We saw that. Yet he let Elian Gonzalez come over and live his best life. So we saw things like that. So we know exactly what's going on here, and it's
What
time
about
to
the
stop.
whip and the horses and all that the other year when the black
Oh
immigrants
yeah,
were coming?
yeah. That's a more
It
modern
was
version
not
of what
let black
happened. Of what
immigrants
happened.
come.
I mean, the man had to literally have the Navy pull up on a boat of Haitian migrants in the middle of the ocean and turn them around at gunpoint. So that's what we're dealing with here. So you see a prohibition of black immigration, but you see Spanish-speaking immigration, even though the Republicans speak on it and try to act hard against it, they rubber stamp it because both of them know what they're doing. They're working together for team white supremacy. So we have allowed ourselves to be
Yep.
undermined because of our mindset from the civil rights generation. We believe the kumbaya is official because we believe we've arrived because during the civil rights era, we achieved white proximity. So now we believe we've arrived, we've gotten able to sit next to the white man in the counter, got to go to his stores, and now we believe that that's gotten us to the Holy Grail, and it's now our job to lay our backs out for every other immigrant, every other ethnic group to come over to plant their flag in America because we have arrived, we've made it. So we believe in that Rainbow Coalition that we should lay our backs down for them to step on as they climb their way to the top. And what that's gotten us is pushed all the way down to being fourth-class citizens at this point. And what you're seeing right now is putting the nail in the coffin. That's why they're dumping these migrants into black communities across the country. What you see going on in Chicago right now has been going on for decades here in Los Angeles. It just wasn't made official with the buses.
Facts,
Okay, I
Pablo.
think let me broken tradition say he wanted to say something, so we got to get some time. He can come up on the stage. Broken traditions. You said you
What's
had
up,
something to
Broken
say.
Traditions? Oh, what's going on? You guys can hear me? I'm on my
Yeah.
phone. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
usually,
you sound good.
Yes, how you
We
doing?
can hear you, Bubba. We can hear you, Bubba.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to go back because with my bad, Pablo. I'm sorry, I can't see you on here because the screen's so
Yeah,
small.
that's
Yes,
Pablo.
yes,
Yeah,
Bubba.
Pablo was saying something about how, like, how the Democrats had this in play. If you guys maybe don't remember when Joe Biden was asked what you gonna do about reparations, and he said this is a country of immigrants. He didn't answer the question. So this is already, like he said, it's already been in play. He told you straight up and down that this is going to be, a country of immigrants and how immigrants going to come in this country and get used to it. That was his exact words.
Sure
And
did.
yeah, and people and people still voted for
I
this man.
played that. I played that a lot when it first came out.
Yeah,
Yup.
but you know what though? That happened 3 years ago. People forgot about that.
Yup.
And it's coming to play. And this man really literally just told us, get used to it. This is a country of immigrants. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're about. And what we do, we just voted for this man at a 90% clip. So at the end of the day, I mean, Chicago, like you said, Los Angeles, New York, these are all blue ran cities. We voted for this, unfortunately.
And you're right. And when you say the blue red cities, and I wanted to go piggyback off of that, what you and Pablo are saying, when they do the voting, they divide it up by the districts. So they make sure most of the black districts don't really have power, but they need those votes. That's why they always relining and gerrymandering. And so what you do is get those black districts, because black people are saying no reparations without tangible. So they're preparing themselves. So let's take the black people out that district and fill it in with the people who we want to vote. So
Yep.
you got all those people in there. So it's a tactic, because after a while, remember what that lady said when they're going to get their visas and stuff, because you know how much money it is to cost to get a visa. I think it's like $9,000 or $10,000, and it so happened you giving them the correct amount. And so you giving them a chance before 2024, and because they rule everything to get citizenship and who can vote then.
Yep. They're replacing the black vote with the immigrant vote.
Let me hit y'all with something that I hope y'all know about. Do y'all consider the indigenous class to be our friends, our allies?
Hell no. I mean, because if we
Hell
had
no.
allies, we would have been. You see all
Not the
that
$5
getting benefits, and they don't care as long as they getting it, and we're not.
And it's no black.
Here's
Listen,
the
it's
power
no
play.
black and brown coalition either. That's
Yeah,
over.
yeah, there ain't no black and brown coalition. We got to know friends, and it is what it is. Because here's a power play, and that's why I keep using militaristic terms to describe this, because this is literal urban warfare against the black community that doesn't even want to be called a black community anymore. This is what's going on here. So do you guys know what a paisa is?
No.
Okay, a
Explain.
paisa in Mexican slang terms, a paisa is what you call an indigenous person, basically a person who hasn't been Americanized, who ain't living the city life. They come from like villages and whatnot and stuff like that. So we notice a trend, and we've seen this here. Is this has been going on in Los Angeles for a couple of years now. You're going to see this spread across the country real soon. Like we warned about the Spanish speaking enclave that was even going on in Atlanta, and everybody thought we were making it up, but now we see it in plain view because that's the next target for the migrant situation. So what's going on is the Americanized Spanish speaking. I'll just use Mexicans as an example. Not saying they're the only ones doing it or they're the fathers of it, but what's going on is you have the Americanized Mexican versus the Paisa or the indigenous ones who still believe in Indian culture and all that. So what they did is when the resources come, the blue folk, the massa, he would generally give resources between us and the Latinos 50-50. So what the Latinos did was, you know what, let's take the Americanized wannabe white Mexican population and the Paisa population or the indigenous population, and let's split them so that way we get more resources coming to these two different groups. We still operate as one, but we go before them as two different groups. And that's one of the power plays that they're doing to get their agendas pushed through. And we don't realize that because we're so busy caught on that lie that anybody with a tan is our friend, and that's not the case. And that's how, so now you're going to see, like when we told you before that you were going to see things like them using any reason they can to cut black people off of housing assistance, the EBT card, anything they could come up with to cut you off. They've been doing it for the past decade now. And now you see why they're doing it, because they're dropping it off right in your doorstep now. And now,
Boy, that's some
so
knowledge. Pablo's dropping truth, right? So we want to take a break really quick. I'm so sorry, King. I'm so sorry. Oh, every time we get to talking, we had to take a quick break, but we're gonna do that. We hope you all are enjoying this broadcast. We want to thank Broken Traditions for being on and having this discussion with us, right? And of course, thank our whole panel. Gonna take a quick break. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
The Good Morning from Africatown, Los Angeles morning radio show is pleased to announce that we now have apparel and other merchandise on sale on our website now. That's right. If you enjoy the positive, conscious messages that the ATLA crew brings to you via radio or our other platforms via social media, we want to encourage you to show your support by donning our apparel. You can shop right now, today, at www.gmfatla.com. Get your merch today, and thank you for your support.
Step into a world of Black unity, love, and power where the essence of Black unity is not just a fleeting emotion but a profound force. A world where Black people uplift each other, creating a fortified community, a beacon of hope. Imagine the strength born from understanding one another. We as Black people all have something in common through shared experiences no one but us understands. There is a joy that arises from celebrating our heritage, our culture, our shared history. Picture the power of true Black unity, a power that transcends any adversities that we face. Black unity empowers and inspires. We have been robbed of that. We need to turn struggles into the foundation of future triumphs. This is not a utopian dream. This is the reality we can shape when we choose to put us first. Unity over division. It's up to us to save each other. Remember, when Black people love and support each other, it's not just powerful, it's transformative. It's our lifeline, our legacy, and our path forward. Let's give this to ourselves. So let's embrace this power. Let's cherish it and let it guide us. #B4B. Go to our website, www.theunitedempiresofalkebulan.com, the UEOA. Tina Berry speaks.
Woo, love it. Love it. All right. So we are back. You are tuned into a special live broadcast on live platforms. You are tuned into the only B1 or none morning radio show, the Good Morning from Africatown, Los Angeles morning radio show. And so we are talking in the second segment. We are diving into the conversation about immigration versus the Black community, right? And unfortunately, it is a division. So let's continue to talk about it. Pablo was speaking, so sorry, King. We went on a break, but I do want to hear what else you had to say and everyone else. So let's go.
Yeah, I'll pick right back up where I left off. Because babies, it's a lot of game going on these streets, baby, and we the ones that's out here with a broken high heel on and our dresses unbuckled. We looking real bad out here, babies. So to put that into perspective, it is to the benefit of every other group. That's why I will say I can't just say, oh, the government is doing it. No, these other groups know exactly what they're doing and they're willing to be a part of this military offensive against us because in their minds, we are at the bottom of the totem pole because like D. May said earlier, we voted for this. This is what we voted for. We voted to be politically insolvent. So we're getting exactly what we paid for, what we voted for, and this is it. So these immigrant groups coming over, they see us as our time is up. We're on a fast track to extinction via our practices. They look at what what we are used for to put forth in entertainment, and they view us as an endangered species that has chosen to put itself on the path to extinction. So why not come in, ravage them, take their resources, and plant our flag? It just is what it is. And if in a military sense, you can't be mad at them because we're doing this to ourselves, and we let the world know that the price to be a white Democrat, a card-carrying Democrat Party member, is worth the price of admission. So that leads us to what do we do about it? What can we do about it? It is to the benefit also of these same groups and this government that's working against us to keep Black Americans and the diaspora at war with each other because they know that we're the only group in this country that does not have a homeland to go to, doesn't have a home country. This thing below right now, all these other groups have a country to go back to. We don't. So they know that these people have a different mindset. They're used to rallying and working together as a people, as a community, whereas we're not. So a prime example of this, we just had the Taste of Soul, what we call it the Taste of Sold Out. The Taste of Soul, they were selling tacos, all kind of stuff up in the Taste of Soul, and Black vendors who planted their flag in that community where the Taste of Soul was held at say, you know what, we're not paying no exorbitant $1,400 to come and set up in here when y'all already have policies to keep us at the bottom where we can't afford it even if we wanted to, just to run a Black business. We can't go to the bank and get that cash influx to grow our business. So what they did was they went and took space on the Black-owned property, and guess what? In the middle of the Taste of Soul, a white woman comes and threatens them with law enforcement. You gotta gather your ish, and y'all got to move. Y'all got to go. Blah, blah, blah. And the police actually came. You already know when the Becky come through, the police gonna come on fast track. So they showed up and asked them to leave and this and that. So this is what we face. So it's to the benefit of these groups to have us constantly micro divided and at each other's throat. If we were able to link with the diaspora, squash this diaspora war thing, put our differences aside and start working together, they know they're in trouble because these other groups are working together. You don't ever see, prime example, Mexicans and Salvadorians, for whatever reason, cannot stand each other. But you don't ever see that rivalry come up when it comes to getting resources and power, migrants being dropped off, Hondurans walking right through Mexico to come over the border. You never see that division come forward. No diaspora war with them when it comes to power and resources, only with us. And that right there is the initial solution that we need to pursue is that outside of our political practices, which I would say is number two.
And I'll say this too. Pablo.
Okay,
even with
I
Chinese,
have a question too.
Okay, you got a purple question. You got.
Okay, so I got a question for everybody. It's on the panel and anybody that's in the chat. So like you guys know what's going on in Chicago with the immigrants being dropped off, like in the South Side of Chicago. Also, I don't know if you guys know, the immigrants are also being dropped off in Asian communities. So now they also having protests. They actually attacked the older women. They actually physically attacked the older women.
Let me say this: how do we have Asian communities? Because they're immigrants too. But go ahead.
I mean, well, I'll say this: where the Asian people live in Chicago, right? So they went to protest. They actually fought the older woman and her assistant. The assistant had to go to the hospital. So that didn't really make the news, right? But I'm saying this to y'all since we talk about like military tactics. Just for this case right here, should we join up with other groups to try to get the immigrants out? Because now the age is upset about it. Of course, the you guys may or may not know, the Hispanics who are already citizens here, they're really upset about it more than anything. They're also upset about it. Should we, just for this cause, join up with other groups? Then after that, once we get to what we want to get to, then after that, divide away.
Good point.
You want my answer? My answer would be, in the night, get your people who are sharpshooters, take these people out. We don't have time for this. You don't need nobody else. I'm totally serious.
Yeah,
There are so many people
I would say we have no friends and people saying
who already do this. You already a killer. Use that stuff. Take your knowledge and use it for good.
But
this is just
Let
getting
me
on my
tell you,
nerves.
anytime, just for the record, y'all,
moving
anytime Queen Lynn asks if she can make a suggestion,
Yeah.
put your seatbelts on. Okay.
But you know what, broken tradition. I would say this though. I can see that. And actually, it's some people. You even got, like, I hate to say it like this, but white people even teaming up with certain black people in certain spaces talking about this, because they're like, this is kind of American problem. Yeah, it's an American problem. Well, yeah, I got no problem with that, because like I said, they bringing these people in. Look, they're not even voters. They don't even pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the hell you gonna get them $9,000, pay for their rent, cell phones, furnish their homes? They get Medicaid, they get food stamps,
and they
all
getting
that.
$9,000 a month. Nobody is saying is it per person, but they're getting $9,000
Exactly.
a month, either per person or per family, and it doesn't matter. That's $9,000 a month for 6 months, and they barely give us $100 worth of food stamps.
And like I was telling,
Yeah,
like I was
you
telling y'all
also
earlier, listen, hey, check this out, Pablo.
they give them EBT cards.
Exactly. Look, and plus, like, just think about it. You know how they do? They all come together. They'll have like 6, 7 people to a house. So if it's 9,000 a family, you got 6 people, 6 family in a house. That's 54,000 a month. They get it for 6 months. Do the math. Yep. And they can work too. So they get other money coming in.
And it is not, they not checking their ID. They not checking to see if the daddy working, the mom working. You see how they do us. They like, I have family members who apply for stamps and they wouldn't even give it to them, because you got to give this and that. And then when they did get stamps, it was $40 a month. This is a spit in our face.
And not only that, police are not allowed to even confront the immigrants because of the asylum laws. You know, the police not allowed to say anything to them.
That's why we are building. This is why I keep telling black people to understand what we're trying to do. Because that will we tap into those protections, because they're not going to give it to us. We got to work together. I don't know all the answers how to get there, but we got to work together and build and get the same stuff. We won't. We keep marching and crying and screaming and complaining, and we won't do no political moves.
It's something else y'all don't know about. I just pulled this up to y'all. Pablo, you in the matrix. You was in the matrix. Let me say this while Pablo gets straightened out. So I pulled this up. Check this out. Besides this going on with the immigrants and the $9,000, the White House proposal includes $1.6 billion to hire 1,600 new asylum officers and processing personnel, which could double the number of people working on asylum cases. It also suggests $1.4 billion to add 375 immigration judges and their teams, in addition to money for 1,300 new border patrol agents. This is 5 days ago. So Biden trying to get them in here. He trying to get them in here, process them so they can become legal, be legal citizens. So this is what's going on. This is 5 days ago.
That's what he said. That's what he said he's gonna do on that Zoom video.
They called Trump a racist, but this is what he was talking about.
Oh yeah, and also realize that Trump, the reason why he had Republican daggers in his back is because he wasn't willing to go along with white supremacy, because both sides of the aisle are involved in this, and he wasn't willing to do that. So that's why he had Republican saboteurs when he was first trying to get elected. But to go back to that question of why we wouldn't want to get involved with these other groups, and here's why. Exactly what I said earlier. We are politically insolvent. We don't have a dog in the fight, because we placed ourselves in this position. And what's going to happen is, if we get in bed with these other groups, yeah, we might win this battle, but we're going to lose the war, because these other groups are going to go right back to sticking together and fending for themselves and leaving us out in the cold. So here's an example of it. where we observed that the Taste of sold out. Did just 48 hours before the Taste of sold out, there was a massive Palestinian rally that saw thousands upon thousands of Palestinians and their supporters come out downtown Los Angeles. And yes, there were some black people there screaming "Free Palestine," even though we don't even know where Palestine is at. But in contrast to that, we only got those kind of numbers because the white man threw the Taste of Soul event, which is basically a gigantic party. That was the only way we got those kind of massive black numbers to rival or overshadow that Palestinian rally. So when you look at it, we look like a joke on paper and in reality, because Palestinians came out and by the thousands to support the Free Palestine movement and do what they had to do politically. We only come out when it's time to party and bull spit, to quote the Biggie song. That's the only time we come out in massive numbers. And when you look at that, you can't help but to take us as a joke and to look at us as, pardon the phrase, useful idiots, because, okay, we don't mind sending them to the front line because look at what they want to do anyway.
Yep.
So that's why it's of the utmost importance that every step we take be calculated to show black men first and black women unified, saying we are B1 or none, we are B4B, we are putting ourselves first, and we're grabbing the bull by the horns for our own black first agenda is of the utmost importance, especially before our youth to see that, because we can no longer do this kumbaya where we hold hands with every other group, because what that is showing the world is black people cannot accomplish anything without holding the hands of others and having others prop us up.
Exactly. And then the thing is, like you say, even with this whole thing immigration, I don't know if I read this part. It was saying Biden is dangling border security money to try to get billions more for Israel and Ukraine. So you got the other immigrants coming in. Then you send billions to Israel every year. I forgot the number.
It's
then
like almost 100 billion. It's almost like 100 billion. It makes no sense.
And you, how you gonna juggle
almost
a war?
$1 trillion helping other people, and they keep telling us they can't give black people no reparations because it's too complicated. But yet they cannot even prove all those immigrants, they don't have paperwork. So who the fuck, how are they giving them money?
Exactly. And the thing about it, y'all, I'm here in Atlanta. Breakfast tradition, you know, we talked about this. I see more and more homeless black people in the streets of Atlanta. And it's so sad. You can give this kind of money to people, but you can't take care of the homeless people in all these major cities like Atlanta, New York, Chicago. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I see.
Don't forget LA.
In LA, oh shit, LA, you know, it's
I think we got 64% black homelessness right here.
Exactly. I'm about to say that, Pablo, y'all percentage is crazy with black homeless. And then I'm like, you can't take care. They keep somebody going to build tiny homes or whatever for the homeless people, but I don't even see nothing. Like, it's crazy. Like, why you should have been did this. If you can drop $9 grand and get them apartments, homes, whatever, cell phones, all that, but you can't do that for the citizen.
Getting money, they getting transportation, they getting food.
Look, subscription, everything.
Look, I don't mean to cut y'all off. It's time for this break. This break is gonna be a little. I'm gonna play one of these commercials, so y'all just sit back for the next few minutes, and we're gonna pick back up on this because, like I said, it's ridiculous. It's a spit in our face.
Have you envisioned true black individuals and groups coming together? We are in need of safe spaces that serve as sanctuaries for the black community in this current world. We as a people are falling apart, and this a call to action. Imagine a place where healing, unity, culture, and wealth building are the core values. A haven that fosters a sense of peace and belonging for generations to come. We need a micronation, a self-declared independent entity that exists digital within or on the outskirts of an existing nation. A micronation is a small, self-governed place where a community can create its own rules and regulations independent of larger governing bodies. This is the vision of the UEOA. This concept is not new, but it's one that holds significant potential for the black community. Imagine a place that serves as a retreat for the black community. A sanctuary that provides respite from the pressures of the oppression we face in our everyday life. A place where we can reconnect with our roots, learn, and find solace in a supportive environment. A place where we can host conferences, workshops, and events that promote education, programs that promote healing, unity, and wealth building. A thriving hub for black families, entrepreneurs, and individuals offering opportunities for networking and collaboration among each other. Imagine a serene natural environment where families and individuals can enjoy camping, farming, and other activities, fostering a connection with nature and promoting overall well-being. A dedicated space for educational programs, mentorship initiatives, and workshops that empower Black people to reach their full potential and contribute to their communities. A sustainable farming initiative that promotes self-sufficiency, healthy eating, and environmental consciousness, while also providing educational opportunities for community members. A range of activities and amenities, ensuring a memorable experience for all. This vision is attainable and with your help, can become a reality. By contributing to this initiative, you will play a vital role in creating a safe and empowering micro-community that addresses the unique needs of the Black community. We bought land, now we need your support to help secure the necessary resources to develop infrastructure. So what can you do to help make this vision a reality? Donate, no matter how big or small. Every contribution will make a significant impact. Even donating your time, skills, or expertise can assist us in. Please join our website www.theunitedempiresofalkebulan.com. Share this initiative, spread the word through social media, email, and word of mouth. Together we can build this dream that fosters pride, resilience, and prosperity. Join us in creating a space where Black individuals and families can thrive, celebrate our heritage, and build a brighter future. It's up to us to help us. We are the only group of people suffering like we do systemically. If you claim you love Black people, then you approve this message.
And
way to go into solutions, right? That is not the number one solution to come and join the United Empires of Akebulan. Oh my, couldn't have been said better.
I mean, this is the
Awesome.
solution. We jumping in here, but that's what we got to do. We keep saying they're coming into our neighborhoods. Then let's move the, excuse my language, let's move the fuck out and start buying land and start rebuilding. Sometimes we're going to have to use camps and tents. We've done it before, but they burned it down. This time we're going to have our arms up. We're going to do for us. But Black people don't want to take that uncomfortability no more because we used to white comfortability with white oppression. We gotta leave.
That was going to be my next. That was going to be my next suggestion. Just ignore them and continue to do us. But I like the first one.
You can't ignore them when you're working in a system and they constantly writing rules to make you. And then we get the stereotype. I mean, just like on my videos, I get white people all the time. Stop wanting handouts. Stop wanting handouts when they giving every fucking body handouts off of the backs of our grandparents and us. We pay taxes. Look at your check. Look at your check.
You already know. You already know when
Rich
the
people
immigrants
don't pay taxes. Black people do. We're the essential workers.
Facts.
And you already know when the immigrants and Massa sees that ad, they're gonna go, oh, thank you.
Hey, check this out. Let me tell y'all something. I want to throw this out because we don't care about Democrats. We know 90% of Black people vote Democrat. That's not even but remember, when it comes to immigration and when they bring these people in, especially when they work for these small companies, most of these small companies, even big companies, they have majority immigrants working there. They don't have to pay no insurance. They don't have to pay, it's a lot of stuff. They don't have to pay no sick time or vacation. It save them a lot of money. Both parties are to blame because they all them rich companies, they hire a lot of immigrants and I know for a fact, I work with some immigrants. They've been working here 20 years on the temp agencies and stuff. So them companies like, okay, we'll get rid of our full-time workers and we'll keep them as long as we keep it flowing. It don't matter because them people they just want to make money here and hopefully they'll get their citizenship. But a lot of them be here for years and years working with temp services and stuff. And a lot of companies don't hire them because they making money. They're saving money. They don't have to pay no insurance out. So you're gonna see, especially in 2024, a lot of people gonna be laid off, and they're gonna keep majority of those immigrants.
But why you think all the people want to have the pay increase? I mean, they talk about Waffle House is asking for $24 an hour, $25 an hour. How long do you think that's gonna last?
Exactly.
Waffle House can't run on $25 an hour. And what they're going to do is, I spoke to a business owner in Atlanta, and I did a video about how the immigrants are going to be coming to Atlanta next. He was excited because he can't afford to have the people working for him. He was like, great.
You know what you're going to see, though, is you're going to see, I'll issue the warning again. Black Atlanta, Black Chicago, Black Florida, you are probably the top 3 targets. And what you need to do right now, what you should be doing right now is looking at the fall of Black Harlem and the potential fall of Black Los Angeles. Just so happens that Black Los Angeles learned from the fall of Black Harlem why it's held out as long as it has. So what you're going to see is this, like we said last segment, a 64% and climbing Black homelessness rate. At the early 2000s, we were at you might as well round it off, you would say 1 million Black people in Los Angeles. Now we're down to 6% of the population. And when you do all the factors such as the homicide, the sex trafficking industry, the organ harvesting industry, the relocation, all those things, we're down to 6% of the total population. And then you do the math with a 64% Black homelessness rate. And this is because of the policies that we keep going in and voting for. We put ourselves in this predicament. So when you break that down and you look at the benefits that these migrants are getting, look at what they're getting now. You got women with children down on Skid Row simply because they had a low FICO score, or because mama wouldn't put the son out who just got paroled and they found out that she had somebody with a record.
Or like me, a Black business owner with a low score and can't get a loan.
Exactly. Actually, it doesn't even matter if you have a low score. Is the fact that you Black, they'll find a way not to give you a business loan. For some reason, your credit ain't ever good enough.
Exactly. But we're contributing to America and these immigrants don't. We're providing jobs and they don't.
I was going to say, Queen, you provide jobs. You provide jobs for crying out loud.
Right now, my business is struggling because I'm trying to get funding so I can hire more people. But we working in America. That's why I want our own land. We can bounce our dollars around each other because this is beyond ridiculous. This is not even a work. This is not even a protest. This is an out and out war against Black people from American government.
Yeah. It's hard to argue.
Sad, a lot of people, you know what? Hey, Pablo, check this out. A sad part about it is you got people like Roland Martin and all them. They're not even focusing on that. They just trying to
because they live white.
Democrat. That's it.
They live. It's not even about Democrat, y'all. Most of these people, we got to walk away from Black successful people.
Yeah,
unless they're going to donate because they are comfortable. They don't feel what we're feeling. They're not on the streets. What we got to do is get them homeless people some hope. The homeless people, they're not doing anything. I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but they need to come together with us. The people who are suffering, we keep trying to get the popular people, the people with the money. They don't care. They ain't going to have a passion because they ribs ain't touching.
And not only that, they're not on the same playing field as us. Like, people's upset that Tyler Perry couldn't buy BET. That's not our problem.
Thank you.
That's not why do I care about Tyler Perry?
Why do I care about sit on their new couches with our money and cable and watch our shows? Come on.
But if we're not entertaining, we're not relevant to them. That's what it is.
I think if you could hit home what you said with me underscored it like a nuclear bomb.
Pablo, you in the matrix. You in the matrix. Yeah, you're right, bro. Traditions, all facts. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they want to do to entertain them, keep making comedy movies. You know, just that's what it is.
That's
and like
what we are here for, their entertainment, and they don't.
Yeah.
That's all they see. They don't stop us from trying to join the NBA. They don't stop us. Like I'm looking at Ironworks 92,000. Let me tell you, he said stop playing in the NFL and stuff. Well, the thing is, it's not about stop playing. It's if you're going to play in the NFL, that's like get that money, them first millions, and then go do something with it. Help us build. None of these rich Black people are investing in communities. They're given to white corporations or white nonprofits that only help the certain amount of people.
No, it's bigger than that. Once you get into college and they realize that you're going to be pro, they start grooming you at an early age.
Yes.
They start grooming you. I mean, my son played AAU basketball, and I seen how they start grooming these kids to get back to white society, to get back to all that stuff. And not to mention when the kids get in college, they started to hook those kids up. Like the alumni of the college, they start hooking those kids up with their daughters because they know that's why a lot of them come out and have a white wife. They do it all the time. It's all repeat.
And if we don't have our own places and our own schools, we have land, and we are building a small community, and that's why you see the videos, and that's why we want to spread the word. Donate so that we can build. We are doing major fundraisers because we are trying to build. We are building micro communities. It's going to be our first example if everybody comes together And then it's a place where we bounce our dollars around. Every black business. If we had 1,000 black people that just paid $100 a month, how much is that a month? Is that not $100,000?
Yeah.
That's 100,000.
Yeah.
100,000. Well,
And we
I
can
think
be buying
you brought up a good
businesses.
point about the
100 a
funding.
month is nothing.
I think you brought up a good point about the funding. We keep looking to the rich black class that, like you said, they ribs ain't touch it. They don't care nothing about what we're talking because they've got their ticket in the white proximity and they're living that civil rights era dream. They believe they made it, and they're not going to do anything to justify that. So I think, and it would hit like a bullet to the head if I could find that video. There was a video here in Africatown, Los Angeles, of the Boule. This was back in the 1950s, early 50s. How the Boule they used to have these community association meetings where they literally had conversations about keeping anybody that wasn't rich, black, and Boule out of their black paradise, their black white
the talented 10th.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think a lot of us really need to hear that language, to hear that mindset, to hear that this is how these people think. They don't care anything about us down here on the ground. So I think what we like to cover solutions in this segment. And I think that's one of the solutions right there. Stop looking to athletes, entertainers. That's why Malcolm said it. No other community has these types of people propped up as leadership, because it's just moronic. They're clowns, and they're not. Only thing they're concerned about is if they're close enough for Massa to give them that pat on the head. So, in contrast, what we should be looking at is doing this ourselves. Like we said, we can build our own political PAC. The money that we invest in marijuana, and I know it sounds cliche, but I'll use this example. The money that we spent to make the Popeyes Corporation $1 billion chicken sandwich, we can use that money to lift ourselves up out of our situation. Just that money that we spent on that chicken sandwich
Let
alone.
me say this, Pablo. Don't mean to cut you off. The problem is, and this is why I've been trying to do videos different. Our people, when you keep a people that never comes out them concrete walls and concrete floors, if you keep a person, if you keep them down and you don't give them a vision, the problem is, what does their Bible say? Without a vision, what happens to the people? They perish.
Yeah, they perish for lack of knowledge.
You don't have a vision, so they cannot see it right now, because all they see when they wake up is stress. I was just talking to my brother. He'd be like, it get depressing because it's a struggle, and they don't see you got to keep painting the vision, and we got to show our people there is a way, because they don't know. And it was meant to not know. All these black neighborhoods, notice how they strategically always erasing history books. Always erasing anything that reminds the world that black people have been there and did anything. And then they can bring in the immigrants, and nobody knows that this is our land. We argue with people all the time that black people were already here. You talking about a migration, black people came from Africa. Well, that was millions of years ago. The earth is billions of years old. Everybody black is from the earth. So they come over here and they erase everything about us. And they let the people that look closer to them or that's down with white supremacy move in comfortably, and they pour out billions of dollars to make sure that they are educated on white supremacy. Because what education are they getting? Like that lady in Chicago said, they're suing. They closed down her kids' school, and now her kids have to walk past that school. They got to spend extra gas and resources to go to the school across town. And yet they opened up this school for the immigrants to live in and go to school, and it's not zoned for that. But I mean, how much are they going to show us that they don't give a damn about black people, and how long are black people going to sit back and not see this? If we have famous people, all these athletes, they need to be out here in the street talking to the homeless, spreading the words, doing this. I mean, doing what we're doing. They're not going to do that.
But you know what?
What they do is they eat their shrimp and they lobster and they steak at night, and they wake up and read the paper to remind them of the black struggle, because they're not struggling no more. They got to be reminded. Like, that's what it felt like. I land my plane.
Yeah, and also too, once they do step out and do something for self, like Ice Cube is under the NBA is under investigation because they trying to block Ice Cube from getting sponsorships because he have his own black-owned league.
Yep.
So once you try to step out and do your own, they'll try to block you. Like what? How is the NBA a threat? Now, how is the Big Three a threat to the NBA? They don't play at the same time. They don't use the same players, but they still see him as a threat. And once he came off the Big Three and say, "I'm not being part of this no more," they just start calling him anti-Semitic because he had a song about Jerry Heller back in the early '90s. We talk about something 30 years ago. He had a song about one Jewish person.
If we build our own stadiums, that's what I'm saying. With our town, we can hook up with people like Ice Cube because they mad because he gave another door for black people to go through because they want us to go through their doors. They took what Martin Luther King said, "Oh, I got it." And by the time Martin Luther King found out he was integrating his people into burning houses, they got rid of him before he can spread the word. They got rid of Malcolm X so before he could show us how to fight back. And black people will. I mean, we the only one working around with T-shirts of ourselves on.
Hey, and let me tell you something too. Is that listen, and I want to say this too. We didn't touch on this. Remember, some of y'all probably know this, but a lot of immigrants, like especially the Hispanics, the Arabs, a lot of them when they apply for these jobs, they put down on the application they're white. So, and white people know they're not white, but they'll accept that anyway because they help push their numbers up. So always keep that in mind. A lot they'll tell you.
White is a status.
They put white. Exactly.
No,
it's a status.
It absolutely is.
They've been getting a lot. I work for the state of Alabama, right? I used to process food stamps and Medicaid applications. They would come in here as in the boatloads. They send their kids to get their education. They will send their kids in there, and I would talk to the kids, and the kids would translate to their parents. Nobody knows how America goes over and beyond to make immigrants comfortable. How do we get a second language of Spanish when black people were here first? There is no language that black people speak here in America of African or any other language. So how did Spanish become our second language? And don't fall for that trick that this was Mexico land and that's what's Mexican. Then what happened with the Indians? Oh, then who was the original?
Very
Indians?
true.
Name them Indians. See how they keep playing with us, but we need a space where we have time and effort to go through all this trash and build our books of truth, build our own history books. See, on the land, you won't have to worry about rent and shelter. You just put your contributions in and let's work and build and farm together. The thing is, we're going to have to, a lot of black people don't want to step off. Not saying you have to be there permanently. If you're going to be on the land half the time, and then of course, in the white world half the time, because you gotta work to get some money. You know what I'm saying? And so what we need to do is to make sure that we're committed to us and make sure that you rather wear your red bottoms or would you rather have freedom?
Right. We also got to stand 10 toes down. Look what's going on with King Randall in South Georgia in Albany. He trying to expand his school. The people who lived in that community told him they denied his right to zone to build another school. Black people came and voted him out for him to build another school.
That's because they stupid. And like people like, that's why we need to link together with people real black. The whole thing about the United Empires of Akebelon is about what it says, the United Empires. If anybody don't know a government structure, 2 tribes makes what? A village. A few villages makes what? A nation. A few nations together makes an empire. The whole point of the empire of Akebelon is that everybody is doing something to help black people, but what your efforts is doing is not helping. King Randall, your school is helping in that place, but what about the rest of the United States? We need national things. So if we bring all our talents together, then we can help each other nationally.
Absolutely.
And then King Randall, if we put our money together and buy land, bump that zone, and we would have a place where we have land. And just like they used to send their kids to military school and stuff, we could be able to bring families and their children where they could learn and stuff together. We need our own spaces because it's going to keep being this way. Why keep fighting a war when you can just move away and there's other land for sale? Just like all this land that's out here, why are they pouring these immigrants in black areas? What about all these abandoned towns and stuff?
And
you know, they purposely want us out.
And another thing too, I know we're getting close to the end of the show, but I want to talk about how they bringing them in already. They got all the major contracts. If you see, I remember back in the days, 80s, 90s, my father, grandfather, my partners, friends, they uncles and stuff had all the major contracts, building stuff. You know, like I
Yes.
mean, and now the Hispanics, it's mostly Hispanics have took all those jobs. They're talking about we don't want to work. Are you crazy? I'm making $30, $40 an hour in overtime, and I can provide for my family. That's BS. I don't know who came up with that, but I know because that's the type of stuff we deal with. Lucky for us, we got certain politicians in office that get us these contracts, but a lot of black people don't have the opportunity to get that. So if you look at all the major cities right now, they're doing all the construction and all the development. It's the Hispanic, the immigrants who are getting those jobs, and they getting paid. You think they getting paid $10 an hour? No, them guys are getting paid, and plus they're branching off and starting their own businesses and stuff. Go anywhere and you'll see mostly the immigrants who got them big contracts, and that's a problem. I don't like that. I like my plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm sick of it, D-Mays. I'm sick of it because they can, if like when you said y'all had them contracts, what they did with black people is they didn't educate black people on businesses. Like right now, I'm helping me and Quincy, my hubby, is helping his daddy establish all his properties as a business. The older people could not read as much. They didn't know how to take their businesses, put it in LLCs, and start generational wealth. So when these older people die, they're white people, and they come in and take these properties and build businesses over us. It makes no sense to step out your door and all you see is white, Chinese. It's okay to say Chinese restaurant. It's okay to say Japanese restaurant. It's okay to say Asian. But when you say black, you're racist.
Mm-hmm.
Chinatown, you got Chinatown in every major city in America, and what are the black towns at?
That's exactly
right. And you know what? I know we are certainly almost out of time, but I wanted to point something out. Pablo earlier mentioned when we started this airing, he said, "What? Let's address the elephant in the room." So really quickly, not to insult anyone's intelligence that's listening, but if anyone knows how elephants are trained, right? Like you see the circuses. And they're so tame. They're huge animals and they're very dangerous animals. But they're trained because when they're young, they have that ball and chain put around them. And it keeps them from moving around. So as they get older, they know that they have boundaries. And even when you take them off that chain, they don't realize that they're unchained and they stick in those boundaries, if that makes any sense. So as we're going to come to a close to this, I want you all to ask yourselves, what would happen if that elephant had no boundaries? And in that story, in this circus that we live in, who's the elephant? Who are the clowns? And who are the carnies? Okay, let's get out of this circus.
Good point.
Please join the United Empires of Akibalan.com and find out how you can do that. I'm going to land my plane there.
I don't think we can follow up on after that one. That was perfect ending.
Exactly. Good show, y'all. Like I said, we out here to get information, and put our people up on game. We really don't have that much time, black people. I'm just being real. A lot of us out here think we got a lot of time. A lot of us don't got relaxed. You know what I'm saying? You even when you got these jobs and stuff, you don't know what's gonna happen. They can come out. Do you have a backup plan? Do you have an A, B, C, D plan? You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna come a time that it's gonna get crazy out here, and what you're gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You need to get certain black people that's thinking like you, and like, okay, let's make this thing happen, because we should always be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Always. I see so many of our people they like, some of them just be in a daze. I'm like, and you can tell some of our people had just gave up. I be outside and I see some people, man. I'm out in the community. I'm like, just looking, you can look at some of black people's eyes and like, they just, that look like, man. And then just looking at the homeless black people, especially here in Atlanta. I was out this morning, man, with people laying in the street, sleep. I mean, I saw one brother digging in the garbage can, man. I'm gonna broke my heart. I'm like, damn, like, it's crazy. I understand some people do have a choice, but some people just gave up. But we shouldn't even have to deal with that. And then knowing that other groups are coming in who's not even citizens, getting all these incentives and all, getting money and housing, that makes no sense. I land my plane.
It does not. Okay, so you guys, we are really, really out of time now. So we want to thank you all for listening. We want to ask that you please subscribe, like, and share wherever you're listening, and share on multiple platforms. Share in your emails, in your texts, with someone that this resonates with. Be a part of the United Empires of Akibalan. You can go and visit us at www.theunitedempiresofakibalan.com. You can definitely tune in to Spotify and listen to us, the GMFATLA crew. You can check us out on our radio web at www.gmfatla.com. And until next time, we appreciate you all. We love you all. Peace, love, and blessings.
Peace.
Have you envisioned true Black individuals and groups coming together? We are in need of safe spaces that serve as sanctuaries for the Black community in this current world. We as a people are falling apart, and this a call to action. Imagine a place where healing, unity, culture, and wealth building are the core values. A haven that fosters a sense of peace and belonging for generations to come. We need a micronation, a self-declared independent entity that exists digital within or on the outskirts of an existing nation. A micronation is a small, self-governed place where a community can create its own rules and regulations independent of larger governing bodies. This is the vision of the UEOA. This concept is not new, but it's one that holds significant potential for the Black community. Imagine a place that serves as a retreat for the Black community. A sanctuary that provides respite from the pressures of the oppression we face in our everyday life. A place where we can reconnect with our roots, learn, and find solace in a supportive environment. A place where we can host conferences, workshops, and events that promote education, programs that promote healing, unity, and wealth building. A thriving hub for Black families, entrepreneurs, and individuals offering opportunities for networking and collaboration among each other. Imagine a serene natural environment where families and individuals can enjoy camping, farming, and other activities, fostering a connection with nature and promoting overall well-being. A dedicated space for educational programs, mentorship initiatives, and workshops that empower Black people to reach their full potential and contribute to their communities. A sustainable farming initiative that promotes self-sufficiency, healthy eating, and environmental consciousness, while also providing educational opportunities for community members. A range of activities and amenities, ensuring a memorable experience for all. This vision is attainable and with your help, can become a reality. By contributing to this initiative, you will play a vital role in creating a safe and empowering micro-community that addresses the unique needs of the Black community. We bought land, now we need your support to help secure the necessary resources to develop infrastructure. So what can you do to help make this vision a reality? Donate, no matter how big or small. Every contribution will make a significant impact. Even donating your time, skills, or expertise can assist us in. Please join our website www.theunitedempiresofalkebulan.com. Share this initiative, spread the word through social media, email, and word of mouth. Together we can build this dream that fosters pride, resilience, and prosperity. Join us in creating a space where Black individuals and families can thrive, celebrate our heritage, and build a brighter future. It's up to us to help us. We are the only group of people suffering like we do systemically. If you claim you love Black people, then you approve this message.
We do a clothes drive, so I'm actually working on that now. But yeah, we can start reaching out, getting coats and stuff.